6:43. We are rolling along with the 1320 WILS Capital City Recap. Imagine this, a drug, just a few grains of it, just a little bit of dust on your hand can actually kill you. Well, the DEA is issuing guidelines for first responders for this deadly drug known as fentanyl. Kristi Taylor with us. She's an addiction expert at TaylorRecovery.com to tell us more about it. Hey, Kristi, great to have you on WILS.
Thanks for having me.
Fentanyl. What do we use fentanyl for? What is this drug?
So most physicians prescribe fentanyl for a painkiller for cancer patients. It's the most potent painkiller made by pharmaceutical companies.
And is it true that just a little bit of dust can actually harm you or even kill you?
Yes. Most people don't have a very high tolerance to opioids. So things such as Vicodin, oxycodone, Norcos, heroin, they're all opioids. Heroin, as we know, can definitely kill people, but fentanyl is so powerful that just an amount equal to a few grams or a few grains of sand can kill you.
Well,
it soaks through your skin. It can get in your eyes. If you touch it and rub your eyes, and it will get into your bloodstream, and it can kill you within a matter of minutes.
That's crazy. So who can actually tolerate this drug and not die from it?
Most people can tolerate a small amount of it. Heroin addicts are probably the people who can tolerate it the best because they're used to such a powerful opioid in their system at a regular amount of time. But fentanyl, most heroin addicts don't know what's in their heroin. The street dealers are cutting heroin with fentanyl because it's cheaper and it's much more powerful. So the addiction to it is even more powerful than heroin. And
I should say that you and your husband run a 70-bed addiction recovery center down in Texas. Well, what led you into this field of work?
My husband's actually in recovery himself, so it's something that's very near and dear to his heart, and he wants to help kids. A lot of the people we get are actually 18 to 25-year-old kids that are doing heroin intravenously. Wow. It's wild.
Amazing. And did you meet them after he was in recovery? Or?
I did, yes. I met him while he was sober.
I see. But you had no experience in this world before, you're saying?
No, none at all. But we've been running this program. We're the biggest one in Houston. It's been highly successful, and we've helped a lot of people.
So when you've got an 18 or 20-year-old who's been addicted to a strong opioid, what's ahead for them in their life once they've had that experience?
Opioid addiction is very hard to break because the addiction is so strong. The withdrawals from it are actually painful. So what we usually try and do is get them to a detox facility, or we get them on Suboxone if their addiction's not too strong, and then wean them off of that, and then they can start, living productively.
How likely are they, Kristi, to go back relatively soon?
I mean, it's sad to say, but most heroin addicts do not get sober their first time trying to get sober.
And do you tell them that? I mean, when they're in treatment, do you tell them, look, it's not a one and done likely?
Yeah, I mean, everyone knows it. Most people have tried to get sober multiple times, so they know that, the chance of relapse is very likely. By the time, it's hard to say. Everyone's different.
Is it all opioid addictions that you're dealing with? Or?
We get everything from people who are addicted to smoking pot to methamphetamines, but about 90% of our clients right now are opioid addictions.
Pot. Is it kind of strange to have pot smokers and opioid addicts in the same room? Or do they have the same experience, really?
They don't. The pot smokers don't have probably the, bad experiences that the opioid users do from, overdoses and hospitalizations. Because you can't really overdose on pot. But.
Yeah. And and you actually treat them all together in one session, or do you separate the treatments based on what they're addicted to?
Well, they do individual therapy sessions. They also do group counseling. So everyone will get together in a group and talk about their experiences and learn different things about the disease of addiction. But the more specialized treatment comes in their psychiatric evaluations, the meds that they get prescribed, as well as the individual counseling.
I mean, at this point, everyone knows right from childhood that you're not supposed. I mean, these drugs are strong and likely become addicted. How do they explain? I mean, how do these kids end up getting involved in opioids specifically?
I mean, everyone's different. A lot of people later on in life have a back surgery or a knee surgery, and they get prescribed Vicodin or oxycodone to deal with the pain after surgery, and they end up getting addicted to it. The young kids just get introduced to it in high school, some even in middle school, and, you know, they think it's the cool thing to do, and they develop a really bad addiction.
And it would typically, once they're addicted to an opioid, do they need this kind of inpatient treatment, or is there any chance they can kind of get out of it themselves?
I mean, there's always the chance you can get out of it yourself. It's not recommended. Most people need a, you know, monitored medical detox to for the withdrawals, because they are so painful and bad that most people, once they start withdrawals, want to go back and get the heroin right away to make themselves more comfortable again.
Wow, incredible. And you see them. Do they go through withdrawals right there with you then?
Yes, some of them do, and it's very sad.
Kristi Taylor, addiction expert at TaylorRecovery.com. Kristi, great to have you on WILS. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much for having me.